Hello, my name is Baldry and this is my A2 Advanced Portfolio Evaluation. For my portfolio this year, I decided to create the front cover, contents page, a double page spread, a billboard and a website promoting my product. The product I decided to create for my A2 portfolio was a regional surfing magazine under the brand name of Layback Surfing Magazine. I decided to choose surfing for the subgenre of my regional magazine portfolio due to having an interest in the sport, the target audience having an interest in it, and due to Cornwall being one of the country's best surfing spots due to our beaches, which therefore would allow me to take images and gain inspiration easier. In order to create the best product I could, it was very important to make sure that I did thorough research in order to find out what images, locations, colour palette, typography and analysis would most appeal to my target audience. I researched and analysed existing front covers, double page spreads, contents pages, billboards and websites. I did this by visiting websites and reading magazines of locally recognised regional magazines and surfing magazines such as regional magazine Cornwall Today and surfing magazines Wavelength and Carve. The research I conducted then allowed me to get an idea of how this type of magazines work and how I can create a product in order to follow the common codes and conventions of a surfing magazine in order to make sure my product was appropriate and appealing. In order to start developing my product, the first thing I needed to do was decide on a brand name in order to be used across all of my products. I researched existing masthead conventions and found magazines like Wavelength, Carve and Pit Pilot all use names based on surfing lifestyle or terms. This helped me come up with the name Layback Surfing Magazine due to layback being a surfing move. The benefit of calling it Layback Surfing Magazine and using the word layback allows my target audience to clearly see it is a surfing magazine and that surfers are my target audience and people are interested in surfing and the local area and what's going on where they live. Using the name Layback Surfing Magazine, I then developed my masthead typography style and layout to represent my audience and establish a brand image. My research into existing masthead conventions taught me that the masthead was really important and needed to be something that would stand out to my target audience, as this is what will firstly catch their attention first in shops. My masthead that I created has layback in a big, bold black font with a black box underneath with white text which reads Cornwall's Best Surfing Magazine to link to the regional aspect of my genre. The use of Higson's theory can be applied to my masthead and the text beneath it shows that it's based around the surfing community in the Cornish region. The use of capital letters to show layback and the bold modern masculine font I have used follows conventions of other regional surfing magazines, which again shows professionalism as I am following genre conventions my audience will expect to see. This fits Bentley's 1998 theory, as he argued it is important to make a text recognisable as being a certain genre. Next, I did research into existing conventions of regional magazines and primary audience research to find out what my colour palette should be across my products. My colour palette across my 3 pages, my billboard and my website uses blue, white, yellow and black. I chose these colours as my audience requested them in the Survey Monkey, and they fit the genre conventions of a surfing magazine as they use coastal colours that work for this region. My contents page is black and white, which is quite often found in surfing magazines with yellow coloured text. My front cover and double page spread were both more colourful, and this allowed me to use more dramatic, vibrant colours to attract my youth target audience and represent them as fun, which links to Oscarby's 1998 theory. My layout choices on my cover, content and double page spread all follow the conventions I saw in surfing magazines like Wavelength and Carve. On my cover I have followed conventions by using a close-up image of a surfer facing the camera. On my contents page I have done something similar to the cover, using a medium shot which covers most of the left hand side of the page, while the content is down the right hand side. While on my double page spread I have followed conventions by positioning my image by taking up one half of the spread and I've put the text on the other side in a box. I did this to represent and attract my target audience of male and females aged between 14 to 30. I also followed the conventions of surf and billboard. I have decided to keep it simple as well as by having an image of a surfer and also having the layback logo on the billboard. I followed common codes and conventions by having my logo on my billboard, as this is part of nearly every single surfing billboard in order to advertise the brand layback. In terms of imagery, my imagery follows conventions of regional surf magazines across my products. When I created my front cover design, I decided to feature one main image as the main focal point of the layout. The image I have used on my front cover is a medium close-up of a white male surfing in an action shot, which follows conventions of surfing magazines due to surfing being predominantly a sport taken part in by white males and females, and therefore they are normally used on surfing magazines' front covers. Potentially, I could have used an image of a black male or female in order to show equality, like I did in my AS portfolio, where I used a white male as a front cover image, even though hip-hop magazines are predominantly read by black males, and therefore black males are normally used on the front cover. Before selecting what image I would use on my front cover for my surfing magazine, I conducted a survey via SurveyMonkey, which allowed me to see what type of image my audience would like to see, and my audience confirmed that following the conventions I researched on magazines covers from carve and wavelength, this was the right choice, as my audience wanted the cover to be filled with an action shot of a male surfer. I carried on following the conventions across my contents, double page spread, billboard and website, as all my images feature medium shots, close-ups and long shots of white surfers a similar age to my target audience, surfing in Cornish waves to link to the region and give my audience people to identify with and aspire to. In conclusion, I think my media language choices follow genre conventions. I research, which means I have followed what the theorist Bentley said in 1997 about the creative process in the rearranging of the old to create the new. I have used his theory in all of my magazine pages I created by researching previous surfing magazine cover and then creating a new look design, but still following the conventions of a surfing regional magazine, and also making sure my magazine targets my target audience. Combining both my main product and my ancillary tasks allows me to create a professional brand look, which is a technique used by existing surfing magazine companies, which allows them to grow sales. In short, I think I have repeated media language conventions successfully across my print magazine, website and promotional billboard in ways that creates a professional brand look that exists in the traditional print medium and online. Repetition of a house style in terms of layout, imagery, lexis and typography is a convention I found in my research to be used throughout surfing magazines and their online products, and I have tried to follow the convention by using different methods. One method I used was on my front cover, contents page, double page spread and billboard. I used action shots of different surfers performing different moves in the water. Throughout my pages, I also used the same layback logo on all of my pages and my billboard in order to give the product a professional brand look and also to show the page is authentic. As well as the layback logo being featured, I also included the layback slogan of Cornwall's Best Surfing Magazine underneath the layback logo in a black box. In my products, I also tried to keep the same colour palette throughout my products, which is yellow, white, black and grey. This also includes the use of a black and white contents page, which as well as the main colour palette I have used matches the codes and conventions of surfing magazine. Throughout my main product and ancillary tasks, I used surfing images in order to make sure I was constantly targeting my target audience and no going off track, and trying to use other types of images that are often included in regional magazines. It was also important for me to use the correct font throughout the products I've created in order to again show repetition. Where possible, I tried to do this as much as I could. I also chose a font based on current surfing magazines in order for me to try and match their conventions. I also wanted to choose a font which is gender neutral, as some fonts often cite to either female or male reading. It is important for me not to do this, as surfers who are my target audience can be either male or female. For the font for my layback logo, I used the website Urban Fonts in order to find the font I could use in order for the logo to stand out, but again match conventions of surf magazines in order to show professionalism within my products. Surfing is often known as a point for upper or middle class people. This can be due to them normally living by the coast in areas in which property costs are higher. Due to surfers often being upper or middle class people, it is important for me to make sure all my products were able to target them and not make the magazines more readable to lower class people who are less likely to surf or have an interest in surfing. If I did target lower class people, then I would be highly unlikely to sell as many copies of my magazine. Creating a professional brand look, which I have done with all my products, is more likely to target middle to upper class people. Overall, I think my products work professionally together to create a brand image that is right for my audience and the regional surf genre.